All right, so now we have a log on both sides of the equal sign, and 1 through 8 is really going to be easy. I wish they wouldn't have gave y'all so many easy ones on this sheet. As long as the logs are the same, you just mark them out. All right, so on this one, you just bring down 3x plus 7 equals 7x plus 4, and y'all solve the equation. All right, do that, get an answer, and the second one's going to have something a little bit different. Make sure y'all's phones are off your desk, please. All right, so answer on number 1, I got negative 4x equals negative 3. I got 3 over 4. Everybody good? All right, and most of the problems 1 through 8 are just that easy. Now, we are going to get into something a little bit different on number 2. Let's go to number 2. All right, can I still, wait a second, I don't have my equal sign right. All right, can I still mark out both the logs? Yes, because they're both log base 3. Mark them out. All right, you bring down 9x minus 1 equals 4x minus 16. Y'all give me an answer on that, please. Is it negative 5 or negative 3?
Negative 3.
Negative 3, let's check. I move that over, that's 5x. I move that over, that's negative 15. Yes, negative 3. Okay, on every problem on this side, every problem on this sheet, you have to plug in your answer, check it to see if it works, or see if we have to throw it out. Let me show you what I mean. If I plug negative 3 right here, 9 times negative 3 minus 1 gives me negative 28. All right, if it gives you a negative number or a 0 when you plug it in, you can't keep that answer. That answer gets thrown out. We don't have any more answers left, so this is a no solution. And you're going to have a lot of no solutions. And that's if it gives you a negative or a 0 on any parenthesis, either side, when you plug it back in. All right, so y'all should be good. Well, here, let's do 3.
So if it gives you a positive,
As long as it gives you a positive number, answer's good.
and then the other one it gives you a negative.
Throw it out. If it gives you a negative on either one of them, throw it.
So
Right.
it's a no solution?
It's no solution if you throw out all your answers and don't have any left. Now this problem, mark out my logs. I've got x squared minus 30 equals 6. I move my minus 30 over. I get positive 30, that gives me 36. All right, what's next? Take a square root. So what is the square root of 36? And don't forget it's plus or minus 6, right? So it's positive 6 and negative 6 are my answers. And I have to check both of those. So when I plug in positive 6, 6 squared is 36 minus 30. That gives me positive 6. That one's okay. All right, how about the negative 6? When you plug in negative 6 and you square it, that's going to become positive 36 also. So just because it's a negative doesn't mean you're going to throw it out. When you plug it back in and try it, it still might work.
So you would have 2 answers?
So that one's got both answers. 6 and negative 6. Okay?
But why would I have 2 answers?
All right, you understand why positive 6 works? How about negative 6? When you plug negative 6 in here, Jared, and you square that, negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36 also. So both of them give you a positive number because 36 minus 30 left us with 6. And as long as you can get a positive number when you plug it in, it's a good answer.
Do you have to do quadratic formula on any?
Probably. All right, so we're on number 4 and 5. Y'all try 4 and 5. Let's see what you get. These are pretty easy. We'll get into some newer stuff in a minute. We're going to try to get through the front of this for sure. It's kind of messy at the bottom. Let's do 5 real quick. All right, so our logs mark out. I got x minus 9 equals 3x minus 13. Got negative 2x equals negative 4. Okay, I got x equals 2. Now, does that answer work? If I plug it in, hang on just a second now. 2 minus 9 gives me negative 7. It doesn't matter what happens on the other side. If I get a negative, I throw it out, that's a no solution. Okay, Al?
If you got two answers and one of them, it doesn't make a negative on one side, but it does on the other, you still gotta throw it out.
All right, let's go to 6. All right, I think Drew was asking about quadratic formula. 6 looks like one where we're gonna have to do quadratic formula. So I got x squared plus 6 equals 5x. Yeah, because you gotta move that over. X squared minus 5x plus 6. So y'all can factor that out if you don't want to use quadratic formula, then check both answers. All right, and 7 and 8, I don't think I need to help you much on 7 and 8. All right, 9's got new stuff. Look at it. What is new about number 9? Well, it's got a plus sign in between the logs. Okay, now we can still go through and cross out all the logs as long as they're the same. But if you got a plus sign in between the logs, when you bring your numbers down, you have to times them. 9 times x equals 54. So plus becomes times.
So then you just divide.
So now divide by 9 and we get 6. All right, now, will that answer work? Is it okay to keep that answer? Well, let's look. When I plug it back in here, does anything happen to 6 that makes it a negative or a 0? No, it stays the same, so that answer is good. All right, so plus becomes times. So number 10, you have minus in between the logs. Y'all want to guess what happens with minus? It becomes divide. So does it matter which one goes on top? It does. The first one in the equation goes on top. The second one in the equation goes on the bottom. You can, or you could do 4 over 1 and then cross multiply, and that's probably how I'm going to show them, which is the same thing as you're talking about. Now, first block wanted to know, would this be a negative W right here? And the answer is no, it will not, because when you make it division, that takes care of the negative sign in between the logs. All right, so cross multiply, divide, what do y'all get? 12. Answer's 12. W equals 12. Does that work? Yes, because you plug 12 in here, it stays positive 12, nothing happens to it. Okay, but the minus, okay, the minus is on the log alley, not on the 12.
So
good question.
Does it have to work, like, on 9, if you plug it back in, it's 6 plus 9 equals 54, that's not right, so it doesn't have to do that?
No, because of the logs.
Yeah, I was not right.
Now, Allie, if you did log 8 of 48 minus log 8 of 12, it would give you log 8 of 4. But you're thinking just 48 minus 12 is 36. So don't do it like that.
So a negative log doesn't matter?
As long as when you plug it back in, no, it doesn't matter. All right, let's do another one. Let's go to 11. Log base 7 of n equals 2/3 log base 7 of 8. All right, so we mark our logs out. You guys want to guess what happens?
Coach Aaron,
Yes, ma'am.
can I get Bryce Edmonds for just a second?
Okay.
Thank you.
You guys want to guess what happens with a number that's in front of the log? What does it become when you set it up? It becomes an exponent. So then you can just type that in your calculator and get an answer. So it becomes the exponent for the number that follows it. Does that make sense? Answer's 4. All right, 4 is the answer on that one.
How do you check this?
When you plug 4 back in here, Jarrett, does anything happen to 4 that makes it become a negative or 0? Nope, so it's good.
Is there an instance where something would happen?
Yep. And we'll see some of them. All right, so you guys now know enough where you could probably do 12 without me. You want to try it? All right, see if you can set it up. All right, so try 13 before I write it down. All right, so let's set it up. We're gonna mark out, get rid of these logs, we don't need them. All right, what happens between these two? They have a minus in between the logs. So I divide 3a plus 14 divided by 5 equals 2a. I'm gonna write 2a over 1.
Can you just multiply by five
You could.
for both of them?
Which is the same thing that I'm gonna be doing here when I cross multiply. All right, I like, if I've got a fraction on one side, I can have a fraction on the other. Now I can cross multiply. That seems to make it a little bit easier for me. 2a times 5, 10a. 3a plus 14 times 1 is 3a plus 14, and you can find your answer from here. All right, after you find... All right, so 13, I got 7a equals 14, a equals 2. Does it work? Yep, because if you plug in 2 right here, you get 20, so it's positive, it works. All right, go to 14. Now, really, you guys know enough to be able to do 14 and 15. Don't try 16 without me.
What did you do?
Let me write it down.
Number 15, it has a 4 in front of the log.
So,
You did.
that becomes your exponent.
Yeah, it's not.
To what?
Whatever follows the log. All right, we're on 14. So, Kylie, help me on 14. What's going to happen with these two right here, Kylie? They got a plus in between them.
I times them.
All right, so that gives you x squared. Everybody's good.
And put it over the 3.
Divided by 3, put it over the 3 equals 12. I'm going to do the 12 over 1 so I can cross multiply and do it that way. Let's see what y'all get on that one. Cross multiply. So this way, I get x squared. This way, I get 36. So the 3's gone because 3 times 12 gave me 36.
Now you're not multiplying the 3 by all the x's on top.
So now take a square root. Don't forget it's plus or minus. Positive 6 and negative 6. Check them to see if they both work because most of the time one of them's going to get thrown out.
You just 3 and 15.
All right, does positive 6 work? Yes. How do you check this? Let me show you. When you plug positive 6 in here, Meyer, does anything happen to it that makes it a negative? No.
So they're all just individually.
Yes. All right, look at this one. It's negative 6. When I plug negative 6 in right here, it stays negative 6, and I can't have that. So my only answer on that one is positive 6. All right, you guys are on 15. Try 15.
Can you take the 4th root or something?
Yeah.
Alright.
All right, here we go. Mark out your logs. Remember, 4 becomes the exponent for what follows the log. So that's x to the 4th times 5 equals 405. Everybody good on setting it up? All right, help me. What's next?
5x4.
You could do that, but after that, what's next? Let's divide by 5 on each side. You're going to have to do that sooner or later anyway. So I get x to the 4th equals what? 81. All right, what's next? You can do a 4th root, or you could do our reciprocal trick I've been telling you. What is 81 to the 1/4?
3.
All right, so our answer is 3. Now, is it plus or minus 3? Yes. Why? Because if the exponent is even, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, it's plus or minus. But when you look at positive 3 and negative 3, I think the negative gets thrown out because when you plug negative 3 in here, it stays negative, can't have it. So positive 3 is the only answer.
Why do we need to divide by 5?
Why do we need to divide by 5? Well, you got to solve for x, so we got to get the x by itself. Okay? Trying to think if there's another way you could do it, but I don't think there is. All right, we're gonna hold off on doing 16, 17, 18. Let's jump to 19. 16, 17, 18, 20 are all different. 19 is just like what we've been doing. So you guys should be able to do 19. You go ahead and start on it before me. All right, let's do the left side first on 19. Take your logs out of the way. All right, now, Bryce, between this and this has a minus sign in between us. What happens to it? So I got 3x plus 7 divided by x plus 4. Other side, I got a minus in between them again, but what else do I have? I've got exponents. So on the top will be 6 squared. On the bottom will be 3 to the third. Now what I see a lot of on this, a lot of kids will on top put 2 to the 6th instead of 6 squared. Remember, that is your exponent for what follows the log. All right, so 6 squared gives you 36 on top, 3 to the third gives you 27 on bottom. Y'all okay doing that? Okay, so from here, you could cross multiply and start working it out. Is there anything I could do before that to make it easier? Yeah, divide both these by 9, so that'd be 4 over 3. Do you have to do that step? No, you don't. But it would make it easier. All right, I'm going to stop here and let y'all cross multiply and divide and see what you get. We actually have something right here. The plus 1 does not have its own log base 6. Every other problem, everything has had the same log, right? This one does not.
Does that matter?
Yeah, it does matter. Big problem. So what we have to do first, when it's written like this, Drew, everything with a log, which is this one and this one, has to be on the left side. So that would be log base 6 of 2x minus 5. I'm going to bring this one over, which makes it minus log base 6, 7x plus 10 equals negative 1. I moved my 1 over, made it negative 1. I better hope I'm doing this right. We're going to assume I'm doing this right. I think I'm good. All right, so you're good. All right, so since we have to do this one a different way, here's what you do. We have to do 6 to the first power. Where'd I get that from? Both of your logs have a base 6. Actually, it should be negative first power because that's a negative 1 on the right side of the equal sign. So basically what I'm doing is writing this in exponent form. Getting rid of the logs.
Everything else.
Now, these two right here, you have to divide them. So that would be 2x minus 5 over 7x plus 10. All right, now before we start working anything out, use your calculators. What is 6 to the negative 1 going to give you? Type it in, make it a fraction. We don't want a decimal.
1/6.
All right, 1 over 6. Do we agree on that? Okay, so now you've done the hard part of it. Now you just cross multiply and divide and get your answer.
Why don't the logs cancel out?
Because everything did not have its own log, so we couldn't cancel out the logs. We had to use the 6 on this one, Jared, because you couldn't cancel it. 6 to the negative first, and over here these were minus, so you had to divide them. That's right. All right, so you guys get an answer on that, and if you understand that, because it's not a log for the negative 3. So what we have to do is 2 to the negative third power equals, since these two have a minus in between them, I divide them. 2x plus 8, 2x squared plus 21x plus 6. All right, somebody please use your calculator. What is 2 to the negative third? 1 over 8. So I'm going to erase this and put 1 over 8. All right, from here, cross multiply. It should work out.